Chapter 8. Letters, Lantern Light, and a Crack in the Walls. Snowberry Hollow glowed like a lantern that evening. By the time the villagers packed up their tools, wiped the soot off their hands, and drifted home through the soft snowfall, Holly and Hearth looked less like a disaster and more like the charming little bakery Lily remembered from her first day in the village. The counter wasn't fully fixed yet. The wiring still needed a careful look, and the ceilings would smell faintly of extinguished fire for a while. But it was standing, safe, warm again, and that mattered more than Lily could say aloud. Jack helped her lock the door once the last of the volunteers left. His jacket was dusted with wood shavings, hair mussed from the long day, sleeves rolled up, revealing forearms she absolutely did not stare at. Too long, she swallowed. Thank you, again. All of this, what you did today, what everyone did. I don't know how to repay it. Jack leaned one shoulder against the door, watching her gently. You don't repay it, he said. That's not how things work here. Snowberry gives because Snowberry cares. Lily looked down at her hands, fingers still trembling faintly. I don't know if I deserve all this help. You do, he said without hesitation. Not because you're perfect, but because you're here. Heat crept up her neck, unfamiliar and warm. A soft wind blew down the lane, swirling snow at their feet. A street lamp flickered, casting them both in golden light. An almost magical moment, an almost kiss kind of moment. Lily's heart thudded painfully in her chest. Jack took a small step forward. Not enough to blurt intention, but enough for her to feel it. He's considering it, she realized. He's carefully considering it. Her breath hitched. Then she stepped back. Just one step. But enough. Jack froze, confusion flickering across his features. Lily shook her head lightly. I'm sorry. Today was just a lot. The fire, Vanessa, everything. I need to think or breathe or both. Jack swallowed, nodding slowly. I get that. I'm not saying no, she added quickly, surprising even herself. Just not right this second. His eyes softened. Relief flickered through them. Something hopeful, too. Okay, he murmured. Not this second. Silence settled, gentle and warm again, but toned with something bittersweet. Finally, Jack sighed and shoved his hands into his pockets. You should head back before the snow gets worse. You too, he smirked. I live 3 minutes away. Still counts. He laughed softly, just enough to warm her chest, and started down the lane. But halfway down, he turned back. Lily? She met his eyes. You did good today. Then he disappeared into the swirling snow. The cottage and the letters. The cottage was dark and still when she arrived. Lily switched on the lantern, its warm glow illuminating the wooden walls, the quilt, the little kitchen that still smelled faintly like pine. May's box sat on the desk. The weight of it pulled at her. All day she had avoided the letters, avoided the truth, avoided the ache that came from knowing how much she didn't know about her mother. And her aunt. She lit a small candle curled onto the chair and untied the delicate red string around the bundle. The first envelope was addressed simply, To my Lily, on your 10th birthday, but never sent. Her breath trembled. Inside, a letter full of regret, hope, memories she had no memory of, stories of her mother as a girl, wild-haired, stubborn, fiercely loyal, and promises May wished she could have kept. The second letter, to Lily, when she begins school, another moment Lily never shared. The third, to Lily, when she grows her first freckle. How had May known? Lily had one faint on her left cheek. With each letter Lily opened, she felt the distance between past and present shrink, thread by thread. May had loved her, truly, constantly, quietly. Tears blurred the ink until she couldn't read anymore. Her shoulders shook, and she pressed the stack to her chest, whispering into the candlelight. You tried, and nobody ever told me. A soft knock startled her. She froze. Not Jack again. Not tonight. Her heart couldn't handle it. But the knock came again, lighter, hesitant, familiar. She stood slowly and opened the door. Mrs. Pennington stood outside, wrapped in a heavy shawl, cheeks reddened from the cold. Sorry, dear, she said. I didn't mean to disturb. I was walking home and saw your light. Thought perhaps you might like some soup. You barely ate today. Lily blinked rapidly. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Mrs. Pennington stepped inside, setting the basket on the counter. She glanced around the cottage, eyes lingering on the open letters. Her expression softened. "You found them," she said quietly. Lily swallowed. "You knew?" Mrs. Pennington nodded. "I knew May kept them. Not what they said, mind you. That was between her and her girl." Lily brushed her fingers across the top envelope. "Why didn't anyone tell me?" "Sorrow is a tricky thing," Mrs. Pennington said softly. "And guilt is even trickier. The people who raised you, perhaps they thought they were protecting you. Perhaps they thought May wouldn't forgive them. Perhaps they thought she shouldn't." Lily sat heavily on the chair. "I don't know how to reconcile all of this." "You don't need to reconcile it," the older woman answered. "You just need to understand it, slowly, one truth at a time." Lily nodded shakily. "May, she wanted me." "Oh, darling." Mrs. Pennington touched her cheek. She never stopped. Tears spilled again, quiet and soft. Mrs. Pennington stayed a few moments longer, fussed over the soup, tucked a blanket around Lily's shoulders, and kissed her forehead before leaving. "Good night, dear," she whispered. "Your story is only beginning." When the door closed, Lily curled up with the blanket, watching the candle flicker. The letters lay beside her waiting. She wasn't ready for all of them, but she was ready for some. She opened the next one, and the cottage breathed with her, slowly, warmly, deeply, as the snow fell thick outside. Chapter 9. Snow settles, secrets stir. The next morning dawned pale and silver, sunlight softening the snow-draped village like a watercolor painting. Lily stood in the doorway of Holly and Hearth with a knot of nerves in her stomach. The bakery was quiet, still smelling faintly of smoke and cleaning supplies. The repaired counter gleamed with fresh varnish. The villagers had done miracles in one night, but the space still felt fragile. Like she was too. She took a breath, straightened her apron, and began setting up again. Slowly, carefully, one tray at a time. "You're not alone," she reminded herself. Snowberry Hollow had shown her that. But as she adjusted a rack of cinnamon buns, she caught movement outside the frosted window. "Jack." He hesitated on the doorstep, hat low, hands tucked deep in his pockets, like he wasn't sure if he would be welcomed. Lily's breath hitched. She opened the door before he could knock. "Hi," he said softly. "Hi." They stood in the doorway, snowflakes drifting between them. Jack cleared his throat. I brought eggs." He lifted the crate awkwardly. Lily almost smiled. "Of course you did." But the tension from yesterday lingered, thin but present. He stepped inside and gently set the crate on the counter. His eyes flicked over the repaired wood in the spotless kitchen. "You've done a lot," he said quietly. "The village has done a lot," Lily corrected. Jack nodded. "Yeah, they care about this place. About May, and about you." Her chest tightened. "Jack, about yesterday." "No," he said quickly. "Let me say something first." She froze. Jack shifted his weight, clearly uncomfortable, clearly determined anyway. "I'm not good at this," he admitted. "Not at explaining myself. Not at feelings," he winced. "Obviously." She swallowed. "Jack, but Vanessa and I," he continued, "there is nothing. There was nothing. She wants things I don't want, not just about business. About us. But I said no. More than once." Lily blinked. "I didn't know that." "It wasn't your fault," he said. "She talks to everyone like she already owns the world and they're just renting space." Lily huffed a laugh. "That sounds about right." Jack softened. "I should have corrected her. I should have made it clear that you and I—" He swallowed, eyes flicking away. "Are not something she gets to comment on." Lily's cheeks warmed. Not something she gets to comment on. The implication curled around her like warmth she wasn't ready to unravel. "I'm sorry too," Lily said quietly. "I made assumptions." "They made sense," Jack admitted. She acts territorial. "It's not your job to sort my messes." Their eyes met, and for a moment the bakery felt small, warm, safe. Jack stepped back first, clearing his throat. "Anyway, I should get back to the farm. Let you get the place running again." Lily hesitated. "Jack?" He paused at the doorway. "Thank you," she said. "For everything you did yesterday. For saving me." His voice was barely above a whisper. "I'd do it again." Then he turned and walked into the snow. Her fingers tightened on the doorframe until her breath steadied. Something between them was shifting. Slowly, but undeniably, letters and lingering ghosts. As the morning passed, Lilly served a trickle of customers, villagers checking in more than buying, each one with a supportive smile, each with something encouraging to say. At midday, she stole a quiet moment to sit with May's letters again. Her hands trembled as she opened the next one. My Lily, if things have gone as planned, you will be old enough now to ask questions. Real ones, hard ones, and I have no right to demand your forgiveness. But I hope someday you will understand why choices were made. Why your mother left. Why I stayed and why I waited. Lily's eyes burned. Another line caught her breath. Your mother and I had secrets, but one of them was never you. You were always meant to know the truth, when the world was safe enough for you to hold it. Lily closed her eyes. Safe enough? Was she? A small folded slip of paper fell from the envelope. She picked it up. On it was an address, in Snowberry Hollow, a house she didn't recognize. Underneath, if you want answers, start here. Her heart slammed. May had left her a breadcrumb trail. She wasn't sure if she was ready to follow it, but she knew she couldn't ignore it forever. Vanessa makes a move. The bell over the bakery door jingled sharply. Lily tensed. She didn't know why until she saw her. Vanessa, crisp white coat, perfect curls, zero warmth. She stepped inside with all the confidence of someone who believed the world existed for her convenience. Lily, Vanessa said, I've come with paperwork. Paperwork? Lily echoed, wary. Yes. Vanessa lifted a folder like it was a victory flag, regarding zoning, renovation requirements, and, given the recent fire, health codes that must be reviewed. Lily stared. Vanessa, these things can be quite complicated, Vanessa continued, and overwhelming for someone not used to managing a business. Lily stiffened. I'm managing just fine. Vanessa arched a brow. Are you? Lily felt heat rise in her chest. I'm not selling the bakery. Not yet, Vanessa corrected smoothly, but you may reconsider once the costs start piling up. You don't know that? Oh, but I do, Vanessa said, stepping closer. Jack's farm contract runs through my office. He relies on my approval for seasonal extensions. You think he won't choose security over this? The words hit Lily like ice water. Vanessa smiled. A slow, cruel curl. Jack's a good man, she said. But even good men choose stability. And that isn't you. The door opened. Jack stepped inside. Vanessa went still. Lily's breath caught. Jack's eyes narrowed. Vanessa, what are you doing? Business, she said smoothly. No, Jack replied, voice low. You're interfering. Vanessa's face hardened. She hadn't expected him this early. Jack stepped between her and Lily without hesitation. You don't talk to her like that, he said. Ever. The cold on Vanessa's face turned to ice. Then she straightened her coat, lifted her chin, and walked out, heels clicking sharply on the cobblestone. The silence left behind felt razor thin. Lily stared at the floor. Is it true? Does your contract depend on her? Jack's jaw clenched. It does. But that doesn't mean she controls my choices. She thinks you'll choose security over... Lily stopped herself. Jack's eyes softened. Over what? She shook her head. Nothing. It doesn't matter. Jack stepped closer. It matters. But Lily looked away. Not because she didn't want him close, but because she wanted him. Too much. And she didn't know if she could survive being a reason. His life got complicated. A small win. The afternoon passed quietly. Customers returned. Word spread that Holly and Hearth was open again. A warm stream of villagers trickled through the doors, each buying something small, not because they needed pastries, but because they wanted her to know she wasn't alone. By closing time, Lily had sold out all the cinnamon buns. She stood in the middle of the bakery, apron dusted with flour, hair falling loose, heart steadier than earlier. She'd done it. She reopened. She survived the fire. She faced Vanessa. She stood her ground. A soft knock came at the door. Not forceful, not demanding. She turned. Jack stood outside, hands in pockets, looking unsure if he should stay or go. She opened the door. He didn't speak right away. Then softly, I could really use some help figuring out that address May left you. Lily's breath caught. You knew about it? He nodded. She trusted me with pieces. Not all of it, but enough to know the place. Lily hesitated. Jack, if helping me puts you in a bad position with Vanessa. I don't care about Vanessa. he said simply. She exhaled. Something inside her unwound, slowly and tenderly. Jack held her gaze, a step closer. Warm breath in the winter air. Then, tomorrow morning? He asked. Lily nodded. Tomorrow. Jack smiled, quiet and genuine. Good night, Lily. This time she didn't look away. Good night, Jack. He walked into the snow, and she watched him go, not with doubt this time, but with something gentler. Something like hope.